I'm Cameron Cheats with Gritty. How's it going, guys?
Good, how are you doing?
Good, I'm great. I saw this back at Sundance and I've just been recommending it to people since, so I'm excited it's here.
Oh,
Nice.
you got to really rack your brain all the way back there.
Yeah. Alex Russell, your director, has talked about casting the both of you, casting everyone in this cast based off of their interpretations of the characters. Theodore, for you, like Matthew, my main question is he someone that you are reading about and you want to empathize with, or do you see him as this villain, so to speak?
I'm reading the script and I'm just seeing myself on the page. That's mostly
Truly.
No, I don't honestly. I don't remember the first kind of interpretation of him because it was so long ago. It was in 2021 that I first auditioned and talked to Alex and everything. So I mean, I remember kind of having the approach of like the question that is now put in words quite literally in a song that Archie made, in a great song that Archie made. What is the difference between love and obsession? And kind of like approaching it a little bit in terms of a love story or just kind of like that is kind of the deeper motor. But it sort of shifted and for me and became something that is a bit more personal to him and where it could have been another figure kind of representing a chance of intimacy with someone, of connection, live a full life and not be worthless in the way that he probably feels himself at the beginning of the film.
Archie, can I ask you kind of same question from what you can remember, given it was years ago? What were your earliest thoughts about Oliver? And I mean, from the jump, were you already like, oh God, I have to like make this music happen? Like, was that a concern from the beginning?
Well, it was interesting. My initial introduction to it was through the lens of Matthew. I originally auditioned for Matthew, and then it was years that went by until I got a call saying Alex Russell wants to meet you, but to play Oliver. And so I had to change my view of I was seeing it through Matthew's lens, and all of a sudden imagine myself playing this character who, at least puts on like the costume of feeling confident and potentially cool or whatever that means. I think it's easier sometimes, for me anyway, to play someone that feels a bit more introverted as opposed to somebody that is maybe introverted but masking as extroverted. I think that felt a little bit more frightening. And Alex had seen me in a coffee shop in LA. Someone had recommended him, and he saw me in a coffee shop and was like, oh, and he like watched me and was like, oh, I think this guy could play Oliver. I had so many kind of friendships, relationships with people in a world like this that feel, the relationship feels transactional, or the power imbalance feels like you feel like a push and pull, whether that be like, dating all the way back to school, where, that feels very much childlike of, Teo was just explaining it, when you're in the playground and you're part of the circle and all of a sudden you feel like you've been pushed out, and like that kind of school game tactics, to, as an adult, that those relationships exist a lot in the industry. I was really interested in exploring that. But then also the music side of it felt like, oh, in another life, maybe I would have done this thing that could have been fun, but like that, I will never do that. And then getting the chance to do that was very exciting, but was also not something that was promised from the beginning. Alex definitely said there isn't any music in this film. This is very much a behind the scenes look at this character. And I knew that he would change his mind. I kept on being like, are you sure? I'm not making, because I didn't sing for the audition. Like, he didn't hear me sing. He didn't know if I could make music. Then all of a sudden he was like, yo, I think we're going to get you to go in the studio with Kenny and make some music. I was like, I knew that was coming. Cut to me making an EP, cut to doing live shows. Like it was scary and alien, but exciting.
That's incredible. I love that he was watching you. Like that Alex was watching you. You weren't even aware of it. Obviously, that speaks to so many of the themes here. And as you kind of touched on, talking about school memories and that being these dynamics with friends, feeling transactional at times. But you are actors who have been in projects that so many folks have seen. There's a paranoia that comes with that, right? That you are being watched, that people are approaching you and you don't really know what they're approaching you with, like what sort of context they have with you. So that's something that felt familiar. I feel like that's a big part of what this film is tapping into.
Yeah, that definitely is something that I've only recently come to learn. That's for sure not always been my experience, but there have definitely been shifts in my career. Like I feel like Saltburn, when that becomes incredibly, I don't know, popular or something like on like TikTok, definitely breeds a different kind of relationship to people. To be honest, it's not something I have to deal with day to day or something I'm thinking about day to day, but definitely something I've had an experience with. And so it's interesting to unpack that. But it wasn't necessarily the thing that I was the most interested in exploring. I think more interestingly, I've just seen friends, I feel relatively adjusted. I don't think that that experience has like changed my life or me, hopefully, very much. But I also do know a lot of friends that have really struggled with keeping like an honest version of themselves, where you're like, oh, that felt very unlike that person, or it just feels you're side-eyeing them. And I was very interested in what this environment does to a person that brings out like an unrecognizable side of oneself. This constant battle with like the thing that often this environment is able to drag up, and that fight and that push and pull that I was really interested in exploring.
Do we see this as a platonic love story? Is there a romantic element there maybe? I mean, I think there are times where you could at least say like a homoeroticism that is played into at times. And I wondered if that was something that you felt fueled your performance for either of you.
It's not necessarily that that was the real tension underlying everything, but that it would, both of them at different points are offering physical intimacy as kind of as like a, is this the thing that you need from me? Is this the thing that, yeah. So I don't think that's what's underlying there, and it's kind of the core of the relationship. I think it becomes kind of an offer, and it never happens, but it becomes kind of something that's at play.
It doesn't happen because it's not the thing that either of them are actually looking for. It's not, that's not the thing. It's a question of like, is this the thing that's gonna make it stop? Will he leave me alone if I give him this and whatever?
Is it the thing that will bring me back in and allow me to be close?
Totally, but at the end of the day, they really both just want to, well, Matthew just wants to be seen or recognized, or like have someone see him the way that he wants the world to see him. And when this person finally does, that's like, and that extends to art and extends to something that he's unable to give himself. That's like when this becomes indispensable for Oliver. But it was never really about sex.
I do have to wrap there, but again, such a fan of this. Congrats to you both. Excited for everyone to see it and be obsessed with it.
Thank you.
Thanks.